Report rail gauge is used when it is a requirement to report the rail gauge and cant, that is, the level difference between the two rails. For this report to take place, the rail overlap adjustment should have already been done, and what this report does is for every point on a reference rail calculate the gauge, change in gauge between adjacent points, cant, that is the level difference, and the change in cant between adjacent points. In this exercise we have a reference rail and an offset rail. And here we see the reference rail is code RD and the offset rail is code RC. We select Report Rail Gauge, decide where we want to send the report to, locate the reference rail and make sure that the selection arrow is pointing up chainage, otherwise the report will be calculated the wrong way round. We can use the start of that string selection as the start of the chainage, and we can type in our own absolute beginning. Alternatively, we can use a section position file if we already have one for this rail. We now locate the offset rail and now we decide what information we want to appear in the report. Obviously we would want the gauge, and we can set minimum and maximum permissible gauge values, above which an asterisk will appear in the report to explain that that particular section is out of specification. We can report the change in gauge, the rate of change in gauge, the cant, change in cant, and again we can set maximum values here. Change in slope, slope being a percentage, the rate of change in cant, and various other measures. We can report the nearest point to the point on the reference string and the level difference to that nearest observation. We can perform radius and versine and radius calculations, and in platform clearance requirements we define the platform edge and the wall, and in the help documentation not only will we see the definition of left and right radii and the definition of radii and versine, but also how the carriage clearance for platform reporting is used. We now see the report, and as previously explained, any values which are out of specification will be shown with an asterisk next to that value. This will then allow us to go and look at that particular chainage and see where the problem has arisen.